Have you heard of Vidme? I've heard of Vidme. I recently joined the site to start uploading my videos on there concurrently with YouTube. And having joined the site, I started watching some of the videos that ended up on the trending page, and I've gotta say they're a little concerning. The two videos I'm talking about in particular were response videos, one from Ask a Gangsta and the other from Harrison at Jenny Fedora, talking about two other videos on YouTube that were discussing stuff about Vidme. And the troubling part about the response videos were that they weren't actually responding to the points made in the YouTube videos. The first video was done by Eli the Computer Guy, and he was criticizing Vidme for calling themselves a free speech platform, yet while removing posts on their subreddit that they didn't like, and then also how he felt that their representative wasn't listening to him when he was explaining his hesitation to go fully onto Vidme. I can't verify these stories, especially because the only videos I've seen in response to that one weren't actually talking about what Eli the Computer Guy was claiming. But if it is true, then that is something to be concerned about. And then the other video was from Dan from Folding Ideas, talking about not just Vidme, but also video hosting platforms in general. His main point was you can't call something a YouTube competitor until it's actually trying to be a YouTube competitor by having features that YouTubers want. A tip jar is very nice, but that's not going to bring over people who are currently making their content for YouTube. You would need things that they've been asking YouTube for forever, like an actually functioning annotation system, a way to migrate their videos onto new channels without losing everything built up on the original channel, and ways to collaborate with other people without basically giving them the keys to destroy your channel on a whim if they so feel. And in both response videos, they didn't bring up anything about these points. Instead, Ask a Gangsta chose to mock their appearances, how both of them are bald or going bald, how both of them look old, which, hate to break it to you, that's just a thing that people do, they get old. And then Harrison at Jenny Fedora, he didn't respond to any of the points at all. Instead, he talked about how great Vidme is for small creators and how they can actually make money here, whereas on YouTube you really can't. Which, yeah, small creators, you're not gonna make very much money at all until you reach over 10,000 lifetime views. I know there's this whole thing about, YouTube, it's trying to be anti-small creator because now you have a barrier to monetizing your channel. Which, to be honest, even before they put that barrier on there, you weren't making anything until you got around 10,000 lifetime views. But because people don't know numbers or maybe don't care, it's easier to just make YouTube out to be a bad guy, even though this doesn't change anything. Nowhere in either video was it discussed what the YouTube videos were talking about. There was no actual responding to any of the points. Instead, it was insulting the creators themselves or just going on a tangent about how great Vidme is, fuck YouTube. It really seems that both videos are trying to set up or at least be a part of some war or something between Vidme and YouTube, as if it's a big YouTube versus small underdog Vidme, which it really isn't. Both of those big YouTubers would happily leave YouTube if someone else were to come along who's actually a viable alternative to YouTube and can give the creators what they've been begging YouTube for. A lot of people don't want to be on YouTube but are only there because what other choice do they have? With YouTube, you have a massive audience range, there's a wide variety of people who use it, and you can trust that it's not gonna go down in the next year or so because it runs out of funding. I mean, YouTube has not been making money for most of its lifetime, but it's still here. And what's happened to Blip? What's happened to other YouTube competitors in the past? Folding Ideas and Eli the Computer Guy, they're not champions of YouTube. They both have videos criticizing YouTube and calling them out for terrible moves that they've made. It really isn't a them versus us type of deal. It's very easy to make the story into that there's this one big bad guy trying to stomp out us, the small everyman creator, and we have to best this great evil power, but it's really not the case. Really, what this boils down to is how in sports you're supposed to give this guy flack because he's a Cubs fan and I'm a Sox fan, so I'm okay to be friends with, but we always have to remind this other guy that he's a Cubs fan, even though we live in the same city and there's very little difference between us other than we like two different sports teams. Or it's like how you're supposedly, if you're someone who's into Xbox, then you're not supposed to like PlayStation 4 gamers, and you're supposed to make it clear that they're terrible people for playing PlayStation 4. Or even worse, if you own a Wii and that's where you play most of your games, you're the worst kind of gamer out there because I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation, I play real games. It's tribalism. That's all it is. It's tribalism. There's no war between YouTube and Vidme. If you're going to respond to someone, actually talk about the things that they bring up. Don't dance around any of their points, and don't criticize their aesthetic persona. My goodness. What does any of that have to do with the video itself? Now, to be fair, Ask a Gangsta did take down his video. Then he put up a sorry not sorry video, basically apologizing for basically bringing negativity to Vidme, but didn't apologize for being petty in his response. Because really, what are you trying to accomplish by pointing out that someone's going bald or has a speech impediment? You're not facilitating discussion here, and any point that you make is going to be undermined by just how silly your argument is, because it's not an argument at all. If you're going to respond to someone, talk about why you feel that they are working to be a competitor to YouTube. Don't just say, oh, Vidme is great because we found some sort of success on here, or Vidme is great because you guys are big YouTubers and obviously hate us for that reason. And for those of you who may need a reminder, this is not coming from some up-on-high YouTuber with a crap ton of subscribers or views. Like, at the point of recording, I have less than 20 subscribers on YouTube and then 3 or 4 followers on Vidme, so as Harrison from Jenny Fedora loved to point out, this is also a small creator point of view. And from down here, I see no discussion here. Instead, I just see people trying to fuel the flames of some sort of tribalism war, which is counterproductive and will not make anyone believe that your platform is actually better than someone else's. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time.